Hey guys, this is a video about the romantic poem Thanatopsis. So remember that American Romanticism occurred between the years of 1800 and 1860. So this poem, Thanatopsis by William Cullen Bryant, it's by the same guy who wrote October and November, which we read last semester. And William Cullen Bryant actually wrote this poem at the age of 17 in the year 1817. So pretty good for being only 17. And the title Thanatopsis, that word is a Greek word that means meditation on or contemplation of death. So we kind of get a hint of what the poem will be about. So we remember that romantic poems use aspects of nature to teach some sort of lesson or impart some sort of wisdom. So in this one, of course, nature gets to be capitalized, and nature is also personified. All these examples, you can hold communion with nature. She speaks, she has a voice of gladness, and a smile and eloquence of beauty. She glides, nature offers teachings, earth, and then her waters. So, all those instances, nature's being personified as a woman. And the point of this first paragraph here is that those who love nature can talk to her and she will respond, right? If you listen closely enough, it describes what her voice sounds like. And then at the bottom here, when you're thinking about death or kind of the finality of life or you're in distress, William Cullen Bryant, or sorry, the speaker, is going to offer some advice, and that is to actually go outside, go forth under the open sky, listen to nature's teachings, and you'll hear a still voice, which is going to be that voice, nature. So in the next stanza, we see what nature says to us. So nature has something to say about death, and these words are meant to comfort the listener, right? Because if you're in distress from the first stanza, and you listen to nature's still voice, she's going to tell you something to make you feel better. And she basically says that when you die, if you're worried about death, think of it this way: when you die, your physical body mixes with the elements. And it's a very poetic description of what that looks like. But this is probably my favorite line: earth that nourished thee shall claim thy growth, to be resolved to earth again. So not only do you become one with the earth again, but when you are buried, you're amongst everybody else in the whole history of the whole world that has lived and died, everyone that came before you. And these aspects of nature down here, nature basically decorates this great tomb of man. So nature continues to comfort in her voice, comfort those who are thinking about, contemplating, or worried about death. It's also these questions, right? What if you die alone? What if you can't say goodbye? These are questions that people might think about. And the answer is that basically everyone will end up with you in death, so you will not be alone. All of these people all end up in the same place. Young people, people in midlife, matrons, maids, babes, the gray-headed man, um, they'll all be gathered to thy side by those who in turn should follow them. So humans before you, humans alive at the same time as you, and everybody else in the future. And then at the end, the speaker emphasizes to you that when it is your time to go, the metaphor of dying is joining the innumerable caravan, right? Everybody from the very beginning of time to the end of time, when you join all those people and move into this mysterious realm where you take chamber in the silent halls of death, another metaphor, don't go like the quarry slave at night, scourged to his dungeon, but sustained and soothed by an unfaltering trust. So that's the attitude you should have towards it, being sustained and soothed. It says, approach thy grave like one who wraps the drapery of his couch about him and lies down to pleasant dreams. So think about a couple of things. How does this poem compare to others we read about nature and death last semester, October and November, and then we read Cross of Snow by Longfellow? Think about the meaning of this poem, how the speaker finds comfort in nature. And again, the speaker of the poem I know is not the author, but it's interesting that a 17-year-old wrote a poem like this, right? And I say over here, this poem is peak romanticism. Nature is giving some sort of truth or some sort of wisdom. And then my closing question to you is here: when has nature ever been a comfort to you? And if you can identify this and think about this, that's a very romantic thing to do, considering romanticism as a literary movement. All right, thanks, guys.